no one misses. Okay, so Karen, biz, not where I want it, but it's not age related. We have absolutely. I definitely feel like it's related to my age, overwhelmed, but don't think, okay. Danielle, 46, menopausal, all the things. Hard to focus, 42, small kids, zero confidence. I keep having great intentions, but then I feel tired and stop. Okay, I think those are all like very, very normal and valid. And I loved the few people that actually said, yeah, to be honest, I think it's age related, because that is an honest fear. That is something that, like I just said, I have thought myself as well. I know it's easy to look and get really confused on social media when you're following some of these coaches that have just, some of these partners, sorry, I'll never change that verbiage. They've just had babies. They've just had like this huge transformation from being pregnant to now like losing all this weight, or they're just at a different phase in life. And we get very caught up in looking at their story. And I've been guilty of this before, trying to mimic their story. And that's not our story. And most of us are way past that. And what I want us to end on tonight is we've got our own story, and it is amazing. Like after 40, you guys, we have lessons that we have learned. We have wisdom that those women do not have yet, but we need to break these barriers of thinking that it's not good enough and that people don't want to hear from us, because they do. So I just actually I was scrolling before we got on this call, and I came across this amazing poem that is like perfect to start off tonight. And then we're just going to kind of like have a back and forth conversation, Danielle and I, but I'm going to start with this. No one tells the oceans or the trees or the mountains that they're too old. They talk of how powerful, how grounded, how awesome they are. Imagine if we thought the same way about ourselves as we got older. Maybe we'd realize just how spectacular we really are. And that's how I want you to leave this call, is understanding that you have a story right now that needs to be shared. The things that you're going through in your life is what other women just like you need to hear you talk about. I am in the throes of perimenopause, and I have an 11-year-old. So there is like perimenopause and puberty happening at my house at full tilt. My poor husband, I'm surprised he hasn't left yet, and I think my dog might be in perimenopause too. Like, I don't even know what is going on over here, but it's crazy town. The more and more I talk about this, the more women show up in my DMs, the more women that comment. When I'm brave enough to be the first person to talk about this, my business starts changing. And I've seen this happen in my business over the last 9 years. I've been here for 9 years, and I've constantly tried to talk about what I'm dealing with at the time. And every time I like niche in to not something out here that I think I should talk about, but I niche into actually what I'm going through right now, my business blows up. And that's how I want you to leave this call, to understand that it isn't hard to figure out what you should be talking about. It's what you're going through right now. And Danielle and I kind of brainstorm. I'll let you take the floor now, Danielle, but we kind of brainstorm some different things that you guys could be going through right now. Retirement. Maybe your spouse is retiring. Maybe you have kids leaving. Maybe you're like me, stuck in this weird, like warped, like you're old, but you have this young kid. Like whatever your story is your story. And there for sure is other women out there that need to hear it and need your support. And the beautiful thing about Body is we have an answer to basically everybody's problem. Whatever problem someone could come with, we have an answer. Oh, well, you need financial help because you, unfortunately, something happened in your life and you don't have enough for retirement. Perfect, we've got you. You're really struggling with anxiety through perimenopause, we've got you. You've got belly fat and you can't figure out what is going on with your world, we've got you. We literally have an answer, I truthfully believe, to every single problem, but you just have to be brave enough to talk about what you're going through. Danielle, I could talk all night, so you gotta go.
Absolutely, I love that. And the thing is too, is I'm gonna follow up with that and then I'm gonna add something else that you chatted about. But guys, we have to have the grit enough to do these things as well. We need to have the grit to, if you're having hormonal imbalances, to give intermittent fasting a try, gut protocol a try, to try first thing, last thing, to go to more lower impact workouts, to do those things and figure them out for ourselves so that we can teach, you know what I mean? Like, just don't give a man a fish, teach them how to fish, right? So we have to be using our platform more than just whatever the next super block is. We need to figure out how to use that platform for what our pain points are. Because what we're going to talk about is exactly what Michelle said. A lot of times we think we need to niche down or become marketers. We aren't marketers. This is not a marketing business. A lot of other MLMs are, and a lot of other online businesses are and need to be, but ours are not that way. Our market happens, like when Michelle said that, I went here. Your story, what happens behind the scenes is what's going to blow up your business, is what is going to get people to really genuinely connect with you, because it's not about what you look like. It's not about what kind of filters you have on your stories. It's about how people can relate to you, and are you authentically sharing that, right? And a lot of the questions I get too is like, well, how do you authentically share it? Right? Because you don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm feeling down. Like every 3 days, you can't be feeling down again and then take 5 days off and then come back. Like you can't be a broken record. You got to figure it out yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to show that as much as your every day is not sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, that you're figuring this out. Like you're making progress. Even if it needs to be at least 5 steps ahead, 1 step back, 5 steps ahead, 1 step back, right? So you have to really, really dive into what's connecting with you and what is making you have that transformation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical one. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical one. A physical one is always great because that's a visual. Like, let's just face it, it's a visual. So that helps. Absolutely, of course. But if you are authentically, consistently, really sharing what's happening, how you're feeling, using your social media almost like as a journal, relating those pain points. I'll pass it back over to you in a second, but I'm going to talk a little bit too about, how we share our story and bringing that pain point and tagline out right at the get-go. Because if you are over 40, how many people have any type of focus issue here on this call? Right? I don't read or listen to anything. I don't, but I'm so guilty of making a post this big and wondering why it doesn't land. How many times am I going to do that? When I read skim, I can't even, I'm putting cinnamon where there's supposed to be pepper in recipes because I just have no focus. So I've started putting are you afraid? This morning I put in my see, it's past 7 o'clock. In my stories, talking about energize, I put, are you often afraid to exercise because you hate feeling sore? I put that in like words right across. And then there was like, my text below. Because I wanted people to be like, yeah, I hate feeling sore. Yeah, that usually stops me. Or I don't push myself the way I should because I hate that feeling. Right. So it's like kind of getting those taglines out there as well. What our pain points are, because other people like us are out there and that's how they're feeling. That's how they're feeling. I was going to say something else, but it'll come back to me. I'm going to pass it back to you. I'm getting scattered.
That's why we're here. We're scattered. We're getting old. I love that. Okay. Sharing your story, and something that I see a lot, and actually my husband tells me this all the time. He's like, no one's reading your posts. No one is reading your posts. They're like 7,000 paragraphs long. Like, stop it. And he's so right, because I get so wordy. But here's the thing that I'm trying to talk to a woman that is where I'm at, right? Like, a lot of times it's like mindset and let's manifest. And like, I would have rolled my eyes. I would never have joined someone 9 years ago that was talking about that shit. I had nothing. I wanted to lose 10 pounds. That's what I wanted. So keep it simple and specific. Talk to you when you started, or talk to what you are really, really frustrated about right now. Like, if you're in perimenopause and you woke up today and you're like, where did that little thing come on my belly? That happened to me not too long ago. I was like, where did that come from? Like, what is going on here? There's all of a sudden this little situation happening, and it's lower belly fat. And we talk about it all the time with perimenopause. My ideal client is waking up and seeing that too. She's not waking up saying, I would love a platform with mindset that would help me get in a good mood. So I would like, she's not thinking about that, right? So when we talk about shit like that, it is gone. They don't care. They are actually going to be triggered by the next post that says, I'm going to help you lose that belly fat. Those 10 pounds that just came on literally overnight, I'm going to help you with that. That is what our age bracket is looking for, or whatever you're going through right now. You have to make it, seem relevant to what you're experiencing. But I do see a lot of really like fluffy, and mindset's part of our platform. And I love mindset, but we give mindset inside our challenge groups. You want to give the stuff that people need. You have to get them in your group first. We know that mindset is a big piece of getting the belly fat gone. We know that because we've been around here for a long time and we understand that. They do not. They do not see a connection between your community. I love you all, and I love how much you love the community. I can tell you, I did not become a coach for the friggin' community. I didn't need the community. I lost 80 pounds by myself. I didn't want the community. And honestly, unless I get to be the boss of the community, I don't really want to be in one now. So I like to run my challenge groups and be the boss of the challenge group, but I don't really want to be part of the community. So it is silly for me to talk about the community all the time. Now, if that is the thing that literally got you to your goals, is you because of the community, you should talk about it, because that's a big deal for you. And that's going to be a big deal for your people. But for me, it doesn't make any sense. I need to talk to the woman that's like, I got to get these 10 pounds off. Like, if I wake up and one more pair of pants don't fit, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm being very simple and specific. So simpler is always better. They're going to understand. And then that fluffy stuff happens inside when we're really helping them. It's like, what is the quote? I wrote this down today. It'll come to me. Something like, You have to sell them what they think they want instead of what you know they need. Sell them what they want versus what you know they need. So they want, and we have to remember what we do as a company. What put Beachbody or Body on the map is transformations. And I understand we are health esteem, but it is also really healthy for people's esteem to not be overweight. We have to remember what we are doing here. We are helping people get to a healthy weight and a healthy life. And that still includes healthy transformation pictures and healthy. I'm looking at Leslie. She's lost like 70 pounds with our programs. Like that, she should be, and she does. She does an amazing job at sharing it, and we all share it. We're so proud of her, but we should not shy away from that's what this company is. That's what we do. We get people transformations. So if you've got a little fussed up with Carl's healthy esteem and you're not sure what all this means and eat more desserts and gets all a little confusing, we still are a company of transformations. So if you have a transformation story, or you're getting one, or you're determined that tomorrow's the day one of your menopausal, perimenopausal, whatever, retirement, soon to be retired, whatever transformation, then declare that and be proud of that and share it along the way. And if you have a client that has had an incredible transformation, or a teammate, share it. Do not stop sharing what our company does. And it gives people amazing transformations. And that can be with health, that can be financial, and that of course can be mindset. That happens a lot within our communities once people get inside. Does that make sense?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And that's the thing, guys. So, what are things I was looking at the chat there, and it's like, what are people like talking about? Even my brother-in-law, who was here last night, my sister had her very first baby at 41. Okay. She has, her story is so inspiring. So, and she has a younger husband. Thank God, it helps her out. Okay. So he was here last night. He was up in business, and he was even saying, okay, so I've got a few dad pounds on. They have 2 adopted children and then 1 biological child. So they had, at one point, they had 4 kids, 3 kids under the age of 4. Okay. And she was in her 40s. I was like, you prayed for this. You prayed for this. But he was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But he goes, can I try out your bike? Because he's like, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy won CrossFit champions for the Atlantics. Like, this guy's in shape and he's still in his 30s. And he's like, I'm just really noticing the knees. And even if I go for a 15-minute run and then I try to hit the squat rack, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. And I'm like, Adam, my friend, that's not going to get better by doing those things, right? So people are talking in here about arthritis. People want to know about inflammation, gut protocol, inflammation, alcohol consumption, inflammation, all of these things. Like, we have these programs, right? And so as you're going through your transformation, like Michelle mentioned, right? As you're cutting out sugar, cutting out processed foods, saying, you know what, I'm going to dial in. I'm dealing with this health issue, this health issue, this health issue. I'm going to dial in and do 4-week gut protocol. I'm actually going to do my bike or do the workouts that are designed to go with that, document it, and share how my arthritis is going down, how I'm getting less migraines because I didn't realize I had food sensitivities, all of the things that my focus is better, that I don't have insomnia anymore, all of the things, right? So as you're going through, oh, hey, guess what? You also lost 12 pounds, right? So as you're showing this, you've documented for 4 weeks, not just your weight loss transformation, but how you have physically changed these ailments that are real, like literal pain points for a lot of people in our age bracket. Just because we're getting older, our bodies just have more toxins in them, and we're not giving our body, like, it's just, we're not doing the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves in that extra way, right? So it all goes back to we have to have the strength. We have to have the grit. We have to figure it out for ourselves and share how we did it and document it along the way. The biggest thing I see is people are like, well, I don't want to share too much about what I'm doing because I don't have a transformation yet. Right? That does not build trust. That does not build trust. When if you know, decided to hide behind the camera for 3 months as you just, got rid of inflammation in your body and lost 15 pounds and all of a sudden gained all this strength mentally and physically, and then came out like a coming out party, people would be like, congratulations. How do we really know how you did it? You never showed us. It doesn't build trust. And the reason we feel that way is human, because it's a fear of failure, imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear of all the things, like, are people going to judge me? Are people going to ask me questions I might not know the answers to? All of these things go through our mind, but that's why we want to talk to you guys right now to kind of say, like, you need to just push past that. You need to realize that your story, whatever that is, big or small, is so incredibly needed to be heard, not just for your business to grow, but for this world, this community, this demographic that we're in, to have a space to be heard. Like, we are freaking queens, guys. When somebody turns 40, I say to them, welcome to the best decade of your life. Welcome to the best freaking decade of your life. I wouldn't go back for anything. And it's been probably the hardest decade of my life, but it's still the best. It's still the best, because I don't give, a flying flock. Do you know what I mean? Because that is what we are. It's our experience. It's who we are. It's what we've gone through. It's the grit and the tenacity that we've created and we've built. You cannot, nobody can give that to you. You earned it. And that is something that is sexy. It is powerful. It is confident, and it's attractive. And people are attracted to that. People are attracted to that. It's that whole like Helen Mirren effect. Like, man, she's dynamite. Like, isn't she dynamite? Like, I'm like, wow, that woman is amazing. Like, to me, she's sexier than anybody I see on screen of any age. But that's because her confidence and her self-compassion and everything she has for who she is in that very moment, it just comes through, right? So I know that all that sort of stuff doesn't happen overnight. We have to do that work, and we have to start sharing the story. Like, don't go out and do a 2-hour Facebook Live talking about everything that's happened to you. But you know what I mean? Breadcrumb it in, but it's time to start putting pen to paper and maybe writing out your story.
That's what I was just going to say. I think the takeaway for everyone, or like the homework, is you need to get, and anyone that knows me, you need to get your journal out. I love my journal. That's my answer to pretty much everything. But that's the only way you are going to dig into your own story. Because if you get off this call and get your phone out and just start scrolling all your people, you're going to get confused. That's what happens when you guys are scrolling. Me too. I go on Instagram, all of a sudden I'm watching Kim Fitzpatrick and Holly Hillier and Danielle, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't even remember what I was supposed to say now, or I can't remember what I was thinking about, because I'm now just like engrossed in what they're doing, and my fear starts kicking in, and my fear says, oh, they're so much better than me. And that happens to me, Legacy Club member, all the things, it happens to me. So I know that it happens to you guys, because if I still do it, I know you do it. So we have to stop that. And the way to stop it is getting honest with yourself with pen to paper. Where are you right now? What are the things that are really frustrating you? What is what do you want to make a change in right now? Or what are you in the process of changing? I'm going to show Leslie again, like all the things that you've done in this past year. It's like sharing that so boldly, like, yes, I did the hard work because I felt XYZ a year ago, and now I'm here, and so can you. It's time for 40 and over to be actually bolder. I'm not sure who told us to get quiet. I don't know where that happened, but I see a lot of women get quieter and like shrink into something. No, it's our time to get louder. We don't give as many F's, first of all. Who cares what people think of us? Like, honestly, at this point in time, do you really care? Do you care what your neighbor thinks? I sure don't. Like, who gives a crap? We do what we want to do. We share what we know. We've had so many failures already, and they're lessons. We know they're lessons, and we get to share them in that way. And we've talked a lot about health and transformation, but I don't want us to forget about the business. If you want to see a really inspiring Facebook Live, go watch Danielle's from today. Because social selling for 40 and up, I don't really think a lot of people have another choice. In this day and age right now, we all need extra income. Heading into retirement, kids going to school, just wanting to like live a really awesome lifestyle ourselves. Anyone who's not doing this or doesn't have a second source of income is crazy, in my opinion. Absolutely like off the rocker, not to have something else in their toolbox, just in case. What did we just live through? We lived through COVID. People lost their jobs. They didn't have paychecks for months after months after months. The average person can't even cover a $400 unexpected bill. That is shocking to me, but I know that it shouldn't be because that's the average person. We need to speak really loudly. And this is where I think our age group gets really shy. We have in our minds, anyone over 40 is not going to want to do this. And I know you do because I do. So don't BS me because I know you do if I do. Because sometimes I will say that to myself. It's only the young. Oh, that girl in my downline is so lucky because she's still just getting all these young people. It's crazy. The only reason we're not getting people is because we're not talking about it enough. We're not being bold enough and saying, this is for you. There's a place for you. This is a great place to share your story. This is a great place to leave an impact. This is a great place to make a little bit of extra money or a ton of money. Stop diminishing what this can actually do for a person's life, because I can tell you what it's done for mine. In 9 years, my whole life has changed. I was able to leave a 6-figure business behind because it wasn't fulfilling me anymore and created a whole other 7-figure one. I'm able to be home to see my daughter here. Like, it's changed everything. My husband works at home now. Like, every single aspect of my life is different because of body. And we can't be quiet about it. We have to be louder about what this can do. Because here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of companies out there and they're being very loud. Very loud. They're not shy about saying the income that can be created in network marketing and social selling. They're being very loud, very bold. In fact, sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. But it makes me uncomfortable because I am not confident enough. I need to be more confident about this, and so do you. The way to build your teams, you don't need to have a big team to build a team. I didn't. I started just like you 9 years ago with no one. Danielle started 10, 12 years ago with no one. That's the one thing that you can have comfort in. We all start in the exact same spot with no one. We all start every single month at Success Club Zero. We all start January 1st with no elite points, right? Like we all start at square one all the time together. But the people that lead the pack are the people that get over their mindset gunk and push through the fear of what others are going to say, or the fear of, I don't know what I should say on a live video. And you just press play or press record, press live, and you just do it. But if you have taken the time to write down in your journal why you're doing this, what you're pushing for, what you're doing it for, your story is a lot easier to tell. It just rolls off your tongue because you're not stuck comparing to the other people doing this stuff. You're not watching me before you go live. And then all of a sudden you're telling Michelle's story and not Jess's story. You're telling your own story. You've got it right in your journal and you've dug through everything, every reason why you're here for the workouts, the fitness, the nutrition, the mindset, the platform. You know why you want to make more money. You know why you want to build your own community. You know why you want to have your own team and your own team name and your own shirts and party at Summit. Like, you know why you want all those things. And then you come on and you share that kind of energy. Every age group wants to join. It won't even matter.
Absolutely.
Every
Oh my God. And that's the thing, guys. And that's what it is. What we have a lot of times, we think like, we think that we need the perfect marketing, the perfect filter, the perfect reel, the perfect whatever to be successful. But I see those perfect reels and those perfect everything out there all the time. And if the energy's not behind it, if the person gets on their Insta stories and they've done it 4 or 5 times and deleted it, and then it's been scripted, or they're reading off the post or whatever and they're just not talking to you as if you were, Michelle and I are talking to you right here, like as if you were across the table from us and we're having a cup of tea or coffee, right? If you're not talking to people like you're talking to that one person, like right now I'm looking at Marilyn and I'm talking to Marilyn, right? Marilyn smiled right back at me. So you want to have that type of energy when you're talking to your audience. And the other thing about the business part is I know that can be scary, guys. But what if your upline never invited you? I remember having coffee with Satya 10 freaking years ago at Starbucks in Dartmouth.
Oh my God. I literally just told my spouse that yesterday. I told him the whole thing. But you know what's funny, Danielle? Listen, there was a precursor to that, right? So I had gotten in a car accident. I was like over 200 pounds. I'm only 5'3" and a bit. And yeah, like you reached out to me. I was into yoga before then in my 20s, but this was my early 30s. So you reached out to me and I was new to social media and I was a snobby social media person, like snobby. I thought I would make fun of you if you did a selfie. But this was like 9 years ago, right? Like the internet isn't the same today. Go look at my Matthew Chase on, go look me up. You will say, haha, look at her now. She doesn't take selfies. It's crazy. But literally, I was the hater of the people taking selfies. So you reach out to me with a friend request, which I was such a non-social media person. I was like, hey, I think I said, hey, beautiful, do we know each other? Like, why are you must know me to reach out to me. Now I've got 2,000 plus people. I'm like, I don't even know anybody on there. But like, even back then, I'm like, how dare you reach out to me? We must have gone to high school together. So she was able to just like, before all this thing was a thing, reach out to me. You were into fitness. I was into yoga. That was your end. You're like, no, I see you're into yoga. I was like, well, cool. Like nobody I know is into yoga because I used to live in Toronto, now back in Nova Scotia. Thanks for reaching out to me. And then you know what's funny? You guys listen to this. Oh my God. Right before, this is all meant to be, like right before Danielle reaches out to me, I took in a friend who, when she needed help, right, really bad. We were unboxing her stuff. She had, where is it downstairs? Shailene Johnson, I keep it in my office. Like to this day, I'll never let that thing go. It's golden to me. It's my award. Shailene Johnson DVD set with the gloves, right? Which I had my second set of weighted gloves. First ones lasted me at least 5 years. So she's like, oh, you can have that shit. You can have it. I'm so uncoordinated. Sorry, I don't want to make this last long, you guys, but this is awesome. So it's like so weird. I'm out of shape. I was walking with a cane, freaking car accident, heavy. I got 3 kids. My life was hell. And so I lost literally almost 60 pounds in 6 months doing freaking Turbo Jam. That was your thing, Danielle. You got hit with Turbo Jam. We didn't have a lot to choose from back then anyway, right? But hell, it was the best. It still is the best. I still use Turbo Jam till those die. Thank you very much. Anyway,
We chatted like face to face.
yeah, it was so you reached out to me and I let you in my Facebook thing. Then I'm like, oh, you do this?
Yeah.
I lost 60 pounds with that. What are you talking about? There's a business behind this. You invited me to Starbucks. We sit down. Rest is history. 9 years later, what did you tell me the other day, Danielle?
You're at the top of my business center. You are second to only Mick because everybody else quit. So my husband,
the oldest person on her ladder. So I'm her OG. And I didn't know this. When she told me this the other day,
I was like, you got money sitting there.
my heart exploded, you guys. I was like, what am I sitting on? I love this business so much. I make money off of it, like little bits here and there, enough to keep my subscription going. But I do not approach the business. That is changing. That's why I'm here.
I think I used the word giddy up to you. Did I use giddy up? Did I say giddy up? Satya, thank you for sharing that.
Found me. We both had the same results with the same workout program before I even knew about Beachbody being a business. So we sat down. It was the 18th of December. Like I said, single mom, right? Brand new, like baby, everything was horrible. I was walking with a cane. I was getting cortisone shots in my back. So there's so much pain. I signed up on December 18th. I went to look it up the other day. It was days before Christmas. And I remember making that choice. Do I take this money and buy my kids extra presents? Or am I going to do this for myself? And I freaking did it. And I'll never look back because maybe I haven't made $1 million yet on it because I've pushed the business. But like I said, I'm into it now. Like I am back. Baby, I am back. And like it kept me fit. It kept me. Remember when we went to that meeting? I used to walk with a cane, Danielle. You used to take me to meetings and shit, like mindset shit. Yeah. That guy, his name, he was the best mindset dude. And you know, I went from walking with a cane to I live in Mexico now. I'm like super fit. I have a husband who's 10 years younger than me. And like, I don't walk with a cane anymore. I don't get cortisone shots anymore. I have traps that'll like make the Incredible Hulk look like freaking
Satya,
nothing.
this is your story, Satya.
No, but I just like, I don't know why I've been sitting on it. I don't know why I've been
journal it out. Journal it
I
out.
needed you guys. I needed all of your faces. It's actually really, really like I'm going to cry. This is actually really big to me that you reached out to me. And that for 9 years, you changed my freaking life, Danielle. Like I don't even know where I would be without Beachbody, honest to God. Without, not just you, but everybody. Barbie Kalev, Sagi's wife.
Yeah.
She's been nice to me over the years, you know? Why? I don't want to know. I'm not on her downline. But you know, like she just
journal this all out, Satya. I'm gonna pass it back over to Michelle, but journal all this out because that passion and that story, you need to compartmentalize that. Honestly. You need to compartmentalize that so that you can get that like out of you and share it with the people who need to hear it so that how you feel is how they feel.
Really quick, you guys, really quick. I want to add in one little thing. Beachbody introduced me to marketing, to network marketing, to making money online in general, to reaching out to people, to not be judgmental of people when they take selfies, to do things like that. Personal development is one of the biggest things I learned from Beachbody. I still tune into the Monday morning meetings, even though you never know I'm having anything to do with any of this. Like it's been there for me as a therapeutic support unit quietly over the years. It's an amazing thing. Like I wish Carl Deichler even knew that because the little bits of people he affects in his little tentacles reach out there. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be monetary. And I hope that I can do that and with all of your support. But yeah, I mean, that's enough to just be in great shape and not have pain anymore. Danielle, you wouldn't believe it. I don't even have pain anymore. I have years of it. Like,
I love
and
that.
it's only because I work out. When I stop working out, I'm all it hurts again. It really does.
Journal it
But-
out and take a screenshot and share it to me. I'm gonna pass it back over to Michelle.
Well, I just don't know how I can like follow that. That was amazing. So did you see like her energy, her tears, that's what you guys need to do. I don't mean you need to get on Facebook and share that. This is like a private space where I'm so glad you felt so comfortable to share all that with us, but there's so many little pieces of that story that are going to resonate with so many people if you start sharing them. And all of you have that story. It doesn't have to be, I lost 80 pounds, I lost 20 pounds. It's just your story. It's whatever it's done for you personally. And I think I want to end on, you don't need hundreds of people. Okay, I've built to Legacy Club. My team's not that big. I don't have hundreds and hundreds in my downline. I have some core leaders that we work together and we've built beautiful businesses together. But I didn't need to go viral. I didn't need to get Success Club 100 or even 50 every single month. Like, nothing like that. And sometimes I think we get up in our heads that we need all of these people to be following us and all of these people to be liking our stuff and hundreds of people watching our stories. No, you don't. You just need to be brave enough to share your story and where you're at and what this is doing for you, and hit the heart of 1 or 2 people a month. That's it. That is it. Stop striving to go viral with your friggin' reel, or using this random filter, or trying to have the perfect post with the perfect words and saying the perfect words. Like, you don't need any of that. You just need to be you. You need to be yourself. You need to share why you're here. Like what really, why are you here at like 7:44 and some of you it's 8:44? Like, it is bedtime. Why are you here with us? Why did Sherry stop laughing at me? You're like, I need to be in bed in 15 minutes.
You need to go talk to Julie. You can't yet.
Oh God, I can only do 1 call a night. But really, like, sharing you, authentic. I know that authentic and vulnerable, all those words are so overused, but at the end of the day, it's true. It's like getting to the root of you. It's not about you having a transformation. I know that we get caught in the weeds. If I was worried about having a transformation, do you know that I've only gained weight since I became a coach? Like, literally every single year, gained weight, not lost. I was very, very, very small when I started this. So if I had stopped or let fear stand in the way of the weight being a problem, so I want you to see me as like, that can't be a problem. If she's only like gained weight this whole time, that can't be my excuse. It's not about weight. It's about your thoughts. It's about your posture. It's about your excitement. It's about why you really truly want to help other people with this, why you want them to step on this journey with you.
And I know a lot of the things that you guys say is like, okay, well, who's going to join me? Who's going to build this business with me? And the easy answer to that is get people into your community, show them an amazing experience, and this sells itself. Do you know what I mean? But on top of that, are you only talking about in your community, in your groups, to your audience, on your social, about your boot camps? Are you talking about what this opportunity gives you? Maybe, are you talking about trips? Are you talking about the fact, did you earn $20? What did that mean? Was it a tank of gas? Do you want to know how great, like how important a tank of gas is right now? Like, do you know how much it was to fill your car? $100. It used to be $55. I'm like, I know. Like, that is crazy. Everybody has those same bills. Everybody pays the same for gas. Everybody knows groceries are going up. Rent is going up, mortgage, all those things are going up. So everybody's dealing with the same thing. So if you're telling yourself they're not going to join me because it costs money, or you're telling yourself I have an opportunity for them to change people's lives that will help them get an income. So what narrative is going through your head when you're thinking about inviting to this business? Are you thinking about they're going to say, are you deciding for them and not even letting the decision be theirs? When they are probably desperately just trying to figure out how they're going, like I even have a woman on my team. She's like, so my daughter decided not to go to university. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. She's taking a year off. That's amazing. Oh my God, what's she going to do? I think that's so smart. No, she said she decided she's going to go to aesthetic school. So what you guys may not know is that Michelle and I are both salon owners that before we were body coaches, which is so funny. We have so much in common. So I was like, oh my God, so cool. She's going to go to the trade. She's going to be an entrepreneur. This is so great because that's what I did. And I was able to like have a good income for myself. And then she's like, no, it's a 1-year course and it's $15,000. And I just went through a divorce and I thought she was, I don't know how I'm going to come up. And this woman has a great job. But one of her 4 children decided that they were going to take this course, which is going to be amazing. And she thought it was going to be like, you know, like, okay, we'll spread this over 4 years for her education. She's like, I've got a couple of months to figure this out. I'm like, well, you've got a great business opportunity in front of you. Do you know what I mean? You want to know how many stories are like that, or even like smaller versions of that? Every single one of us have one. Every single one of us have one, whether it's, you know, somebody in your house needs a new vehicle, somebody needs an operation, somebody needs anything. There's so many reasons why this can be a blessing. I really feel like people talk, when they talk about finances, even especially our generation, we've been taught that money is dirty or wrong or bad, and it's not. It's not, because after you have everything for your family that you guys need to be happy and healthy, then anything that's left over, you can bless others with.
Yeah. The impact that you can make is incredible. What I was going to say when you were sharing that story about that friend and that schooling, we will never hear those stories if we aren't talking to people though, right? If we're not talking to people. So that means we actually have to be talking to our challengers, talking to the people watching our stories or liking our posts or our friends on Facebook. Like, that is part of this business. I don't mean you have to weirdly invite people in some spam bucket message. I've never done it. I will never do it. I absolutely negative, but I do talk to a lot of people. I make sure that I'm creating conversations with the people that are on my Facebook or on my Instagram, because that is how I'm going to find out what they're struggling with. And then I can say, I understand that. I really do, but I might be able to help you with that, right? The only way you're going to get people to do this with us is having those conversations. Very rarely is it just someone randomly pops into my DMs and says, oh my gosh, you must be a body coach. Can I join your group? Like, that doesn't happen in real life, you guys. I think everybody thinks that happens to people. It like very rarely. Like, we also have to make this happen, and having conversations and asking questions. Your content and you sharing your story really helps, because they feel comfortable to maybe leave a comment or continue watching you or whatever. So it definitely is a huge part of it, but you also have to be doing that back end conversations. And then you hear those stories, and then the relationship grows, and so much trust is built that they can't help but want to join you. I do have people say, I don't even want to do Beachbody, but I just want to be in your group. It's like they just kind of want to hang out. And I'm like, well, the only way that happens is you buy the package, right? Like, I'm bold enough to say that because this is my career. This is how I earn income. And that can happen for you too. And it happens a lot easier when you're very specifically talking to your person. And the way you talk to your person is share what you're going through. It's simple and specific. I think if you take anything away, you want to own your story. You've got one and you need to figure it out. Get this out. If you're like sitting there, I don't know, then you need to get this out and you need to get a pen out and you just have to make yourself do it. Set a timer and make yourself do it. Just put the pen to paper and start writing. I do that every morning. 3 pages I have to write every morning and lots flows out of me. Get that stuff and then you're clear on what you want to talk about and what you want to share about on your stories and on your social media, and then get talking to people.
So it's like you guys want us to, do more calls like this, and kind of create a community of our 40+ people. Reach out to your upline, whether it's myself or Michelle, and we'll dive into a little bit more of specifics. But you have to start with this. You have to start with, like what Michelle says, writing down your story. Start with action. Start showing up. Start doing the hard work on your own journey so that you're figuring out the solutions of your pain points, the ones you're going to share with your audience in your niche, right? So that action has to happen. We're not going to set up a bunch of calls to just train. And then you're like, okay, well, after training number 5, I'll start doing the things. You have to start doing the things tonight. Well, after sleep. Tomorrow. Right? Journal tonight, but start tomorrow. And if we see you guys do that and then have feedback of, okay, this is what I'm doing. These are some obstacles that we're running into. Michelle and I will gather you guys together again and work through those obstacles. But we're not going to get out our crystal ball and wonder what your imaginary obstacles are to action that's not happening on your end. Does that make sense?
Love that. Absolutely. I would love to keep doing stuff like this. I think it's so cool. Because I just think there's a lot of power and we shy away from the power that we have. And that's ridiculous. We have this opportunity in the palm of our hands. My team knows that I talk about this opportunity in the palm of our hands all the time. And something keeps holding people back and we need to stop that. So let's end this. I know lots of you want to get on that sleigh call with Julie Voris, but give us feedback. We'll keep doing this because this is what we love to do. And we want you guys to see like whatever kind of success you want, right? That's our desire. So thank you for coming. It was so awesome to see all your faces.
Thank you.
Bye guys.
Adios.